Let's get into it. Coach Colin News. What's going on, guys? Let's get right into it. The border crisis, the open border. It gets worse and worse and worse as time goes on. You know, a lot of people have this mindset that no one's illegal and let those people in and it shouldn't be a problem and everyone's immigrants. And that whole argument is just so loose and so rosy colored glasses, you know? But as you start to see, I did a video yesterday, the Chicago residents, they were talking to the mayor and they were getting upset about the whole migrant crisis. You know, Chicago's had to spend about $1 billion. You know, the cartel is making money hand over fist because of this whole thing. If it's not through drugs, it's through actually smuggling people in. There's so many negatives to having the border the way that it is. And of course, that also led to Laken Riley passing away at the hands of someone who was in the country illegally. And it's a very sad story. And I'm going to play a couple of clips. They're going to be talking about Mayorkas and his role in this whole thing. My question, you know, as we go through all this, you know, I'll ask my question after this clip. But Mayorkas needs to be impeached, obviously. But isn't there somebody else who needs to be impeached for this whole thing as well? Let's play this clip. Hold on. And then we'll have Lindsey Graham talking about it. And you know you messed up really bad when Lindsey Graham is telling you, Demon Senator Lindsey Graham is telling you how badly you messed up. You know you really did something wrong. Let's get into it.
Homeland Secretary Committee, I should say, Homeland Security Committee, Republicans dropped the hard, painful facts on Secretary Mayorkas at a hearing yesterday. This is how it started. Watch.
You've made this country, sir, a far more dangerous place.
While you assert that shall detain is what you want to do, what you agree the law says, we're leaving thousands of beds empty every day.
You've allowed the cartels to make billions and billions. As a matter of fact, you're probably the best business partner they could ever have.
His service as secretary has left a scar on our nation's soul that may never be removed.
Do you continue to maintain that the border is secure? You said yes, and it's getting more secure every day. Do you still say so?
Congressman, with the resources and the authorities that we have been provided, it is as secure as we can make it.
In focus with me now, Republican Congresswoman Kat Cammack of the great state of Florida. She's the member of the Judiciary Committee and Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government. Look, I want to compare and contrast now. How should this go? How did it go the more than one time that they impeached former President Trump? I mean, are we seeing some special treatment, irregularities, or anything different with Mayorkas that's notable?
Oh my gosh, Harris, where to begin? You know, those clips absolutely infuriate me listening to Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, who clearly at this point, he might as well be listed as the Secretary of Cartel Security because he's doing far more damage to the United States and helping and facilitating the cartel's business and illicit activities than he is anything else. So what we're seeing right now playing out in real time is essentially a departure of 200 years of precedent, a total violation of constitutional precedent and tradition. What we are probably going to see is Chuck Schumer unceremoniously move to dismiss or table the impeachment inquiry and the trial. Why that is such a big disservice to the American people is because there is evidence, mounting evidence every single day of the negligence of this administration, which is a direct tie to his performance. Not only has Alejandro Mayorkas lied to Congress, I have been in the rooms as a member he has lied to, but he has taken 51 specific actions to undo border security that has made us less safe. Just ask Laken Riley's family. Just ask the thousands of Americans that are now angel families as a result of the open border crisis. So they're going to try to dismiss this, but it really flies in the face of not just the Constitution, but the will of the American people, which is exercised in the people's house. We need to impeach him.
And look, he's no friend of the people coming across the border who want to do it the right way either. Or for that matter, some of the children who are being dragged by the cartels that Mayorkas admitted he didn't know where 85,000 of those young people were at one point in Biden's administration when he was on the Hill. He still said on a second question at a different hearing, he had 2 bites at the apple, still couldn't account for the whereabouts of all those children. I mean, it's a sickening situation, whether you're an American or someone trying to be an American crossing the border. All right, millions of illegal immigrants pour over our border every year. We know that. We got a really tough number this year, though, of what it's been like under Biden, 7.2 million. Under one president, less than one term. Criminals like Jose Ibarra, suspected of murdering 22-year-old Georgia nursing school student Laken Riley, who you just mentioned, Congresswoman. That happened in February. Senate Judiciary Committee ranking member Lindsey Graham says the administration made a big admission to him. Watch this.
So I'm going to show you a longer version of the clip they're about to show you. Really wild how much. My question is right away, this guy's getting it really hard. Why doesn't Biden have to answer for any of this? Like, I get it. It's good to impeach that guy, and that's what should happen 100%. But what about Biden? Has he? And it's just so, like, talk about special treatment. You know, they're talking about, oh, they tried to impeach Trump plenty of times. What about Mayorkas? What about you're talking about special treatment. What about the president? The fact that Mayorkas is going to get impeached, and they're comparing that to Trump. People trying to impeach Trump. What about the guy who's letting all this happen, who told the Senate and told the world, you need to pass this bill that gives Ukraine $60 billion and gives the border 20 and gives Israel 14 billion, as well as a bunch of other nations, in order for me to secure the border. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to undo what one state did to secure their border just to drive the point home a little more. How on earth is he not the focus of this conversation? Mayorkas too, I get it. But how is he not the focus? How is it not focused on him? Like that is beyond special treatment. How come people aren't putting this at his feet? Everything that's gone on. And also, I just like to add, also, he already knows what Trump did. His first day, everybody knows this. Well, you should know this if you don't. First day in office, he undid everything Trump did. Remain in Mexico. He undid everything Trump did on his first day in regards to border security. He could just put all those things back in place, and it would at least get more secure. Wouldn't be a complete fix, obviously, but it would be more secure. He could go to Texas and say, I like what you've done here. All the other states do the same thing. I will pay for it. You put barbed wire and you put shipping containers. Okay, done. Like, let's do that the whole way through. Can you help me out here, Abbott? Can you show everybody what you did? There's so many solutions here. The only solution he had throughout this whole thing was, you gotta give me some money. I need money. Approve some money for me. And then he was gonna send more of it to Ukraine than was gonna go to America. You can't make this stuff up. And then also, how wild was Trump? Is Trump a wild guy or what? Is it because what he did was he declared it an invasion, and then he took the money from the military. Very smart move. Is this not available for Biden to do? More people have come through under Biden than under Trump. So it would make sense that he should be able to do the exact same thing. He should be able to say this is an invasion. He should be able to take the money from the military and secure the border. And Mayorkas be damned. He doesn't need him to do it. That's why I'm like, yeah, I get it with this Mayorkas guy. I get it 100%. But what's going on with the actual person, the chief? You know, the head chief napper. What's going on with him? So the case that they're talking about, if you don't know, Laken Riley, the murder suspect, apparently was released from prison because of lack of space. They didn't have enough space, so they let him out. Now, they let him out in 2022, and then he did what he did to Laken Riley in 2024. And a lot of people are really upset about this because obviously this man right here would have been in jail if they didn't let him out. He just would have been inside. He was not rehabilitated. He actually literally, quite literally, got a get out of jail free card. That's what he got. So Lindsey Graham's going to talk about this a little bit and break everything down. And again, how bad has your administration screwed up when Lindsey Graham has to look at you and say, this is unacceptable?
3. Do you do a case-by-case analysis? This is to Mayorkas. Senator, we comply with the law. So there's a file for all 240,000 where somebody determined they met the 2 criteria, urgent humanitarian need or significant public benefit. There's an individual determination made on all 240,000. I can see that. Yes, Senator. I'm asking for that. So in your opinion, 240,000 people are individually screened and granted parole. You're not blanket paroling people, are you? That is correct. So the bottom line is, what do we now know? That the parole statute requires parole to be limited to 2 things: urgent humanitarian need for the person, maybe your mother's dying, something going on that's really urgent, or you have a special benefit to our country, which may be you're a witness in a cartel trial. Not just to come into the country on parole because somebody at DHS wants to make you come into the country. So what have we learned? 2 days ago, we learned that the man charged with killing Laken Riley, Mr. Ibarra, was paroled because there was no space in the El Paso detention facility for him. That's why he was paroled, due to detention capacity at the Central Processing Center in El Paso, Texas. That's not a valid reason to parole anybody. So I would argue this is Exhibit A of where the statute and the actions of the Secretary do not match, and the testimony that he gave to the Congress doesn't match. You've decided to dismiss this case without any inquiry, judicial, Senate review, first time in the history of the country, and the argument that you make is that the conduct alleged by the House doesn't rise to high crime or misdemeanor. That is stunningly bad for the Senate, bad for the country, and the only thing left now, I guess, for the American people is to decide this issue at the ballot box. But this,
man, and things are getting bad when I'm agreeing with Lindsey Graham. Jeez, this is terrible. And again, this is just another sign. I don't know how many you need. I don't know how many anybody needs, but another sign that this is all by design. It just is. It's another sign that this is complete. Listen, I can't say complete. I don't actually know, but all the signs point to by design. They let the guy out. They're like, there's not enough space. Let him out. Why don't you just have him stand? You know what I mean? You sold too many tickets to your venue. Let him stand at the bar. It's okay. Let him stand. It's fine. Lay down and sleep. I don't know. 3 to a cell. I don't know. Something. Bring in a cot. Hey, you're sleeping out here. Something other than letting him go. And then the saddest thing is that it actually led to something terrible happening. But what do you expect? In reality, the guy's not rehabilitated whatsoever. And again, Lindsey Graham. I love that it caught his face like this. Lindsey Graham's upset, Demon Senator Lindsey Graham upset. Lindsey Graham, he's like, see, what I'm not understanding here is, okay, you could let him go for a couple reasons, okay? If he was an employee of Lockheed Martin who had $100 million that he was willing to just spread out amongst all of us, okay, then I could understand you letting him go. If he had a war in a foreign nation for us to go get rich off of, I could understand you letting him go. But what you did, ladies and gentlemen, is you paroled a poor man who has, as far as I know, given none of us any bribes. Did you get a bribe? You over there, did you? I did not even get $20. This is unacceptable. Can we call him up and get $20 at least? This is not the America that I came to corrupt. This is not the America that I've been corrupting for decades, okay? I'm just saying. If he worked at Lockheed Martin, I'd understand. Okay, I got a lot of friends there, you understand? If he wanted to go to war with Iran, I understand. But you just let him walk free for no reason. And again, I have to reiterate, none of us got any money. Did you? This is crazy. I gotta make light of a terrible situation. The whole border situation is just terrible. And it's gonna lead it. And I was about to say it's gonna lead to things like this. It already has. Chilean gang combining with supposedly MS-13, and they're running around doing high-end heists. They're going to high-end houses and robbing them. It's happened. It's everywhere right now. People in Chicago are complaining about getting harassed, but it's happening everywhere. It's so hard. You would have a hard time. People must have a hard time not thinking this is by design. You know how much mental gymnastics you have to do in order to get to a conclusion that this is not by design? It seems so intentional. Again, Chicago spent $1 billion. On what? I'm telling you, man. I don't know if this is authoritarian. I don't know if it's totalitarian. I don't know if it's overreach. All these people involved that are in the government, we should be able to see all of their bank accounts. Chicago spent $1 billion. I want to see the mayor's bank account. What do you mean you spent $1 billion and it's still horrible? You're still going up to schools and being like, can we clear out the school real quick? What? Couldn't you build a skyscraper? Could you just build a building? What? $1 billion? New York, 53 million. That was just for the debit cards. What's going on right now, man? It's such a slap in the face to anyone who is just paying taxes, paying their way, paying their rent. If you're paying your rent, you look at squatters and you're like, wow, why can't I just do that? If you're someone who comes legally, you look at people who just cross the border and get money and you're like, well, where was that for me? Could have at least reimbursed me on my plane ticket. It's just from the legal immigrants all the way to the people who have generations of American family. It is just a slap in the face constantly, day after day. It's so wild. And the people who benefit the most, allegedly, politicians, the cartel, and the people who break the law as they're entering the country. It makes no sense, man. It makes no sense. And then we come down to it, and this guy who actually took someone's life for no good reason, because there's no good reason that he could come up with or that you could tell me. A young person, man. Whew. Absolutely wild. So much so that Lindsey Graham, warmonger Lindsey Graham, loves to see war in foreign nations, thinks that this is going badly. Jeez. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, let me know what you guys think in the comments of this whole thing. When it comes to Laken Riley, when it comes to Laken Riley's case, you know, there's going to be more developments. I've seen her parents make some statements. Obviously, they're all broken up. But in regards to the actual border getting more secure, oh yeah, and this guy said it's. Oh, I have to comment on this. This guy said it's as secure as we can make it. That is a blatant lie. You could look at Texas, what Texas did. Again, Texas turned what was thousands of people coming over to 3 to 10 people. Let's even say Abbott's lying and say it's 100. It's still dramatically less. It's still crazy less. And all you have to do is allow him to do that without trying to tear down his barbed wire and everything that they've done. which that's what they're trying to, that's what the federal government's trying to do. And just have, I already said this, have him show every state exactly what he did along the whole border. That's it. And do it everywhere you can. Yeah, there's going to be open patches, but do it everywhere you can. It's as secure as we can make it. And you notice how he said it when he said it? Mayorkas, you notice what he actually said? He said, it's secure as we can make it with the funds we've been given. Do you know how wild it is to be in this situation and talk about funds? Oh, with the resources, if we had more resources. It's like, bro, are you asking for, bro, you're not even doing your job properly. Are you asking for money right now? Like, are you kidding me? And then on top of it, Chuck Schumer, of course it's Chuck Schumer, is going to table it, his impeachment. How is, again, how does this not look by design? How? Explain it to me. The guy who should be getting impeached is getting defended by somebody who is a lifelong Democrat, who told Trump that the intelligence agencies have 6 ways from Sunday to get back at you. He should be very careful. That guy is going to stop this guy on the screen from getting impeached. Are you kidding me? No, it's not. It's all coincidence, the border's always been bad. Flimsy arguments, man. Anyways, guys, again, like, subscribe, share, and let me know what you think in the comments. I'm out.